Yes, what's happening? Welcome aboard the Bhoycie Bus. Not done one of these in a while. I always say that before I do a solo show. I've not done one of these in ages. This is how the bus began. It was just me sitting by the wee webcam on his own. Hopefully you can all hear me. If not, well, too bad. I'll talk to myself for the next wee while. But as you can see with the hashtag, this is going to be Ask the Bus. Ask anything. Let's have a wee chat about Celtic. Alan Robertson with the first question already. What's happening, Russell? Not quite the most original of questions, Alan, but hey, we'll start it. We'll keep that one for later. Not a lot, mate. Just driving buses. Everyone's saying loud and clear. Night shift. I know, but it's not like I've got a bedtime. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not. I could go to my bed and have the fuck I want, you know? I was playing sevens earlier, and I was walking back. I did 10,000 steps there. Played 7-a-sides for an hour. Relatively all right. It's all right. And the best I've played in a while. And then walked another 10. Sound like the fucking Proclaimers now, don't I? Walking 10,000 miles here and 10,000 miles back. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, we will quickly just give a wee shout out to our sponsors as well. ED Pharmacy. Scan the QR code and go all night long. The edpharmacy.co.uk. Any erectile dysfunction issues, or maybe you just want that party never to end. You know, it's just like, see, when it comes to like the party never to end, it's just a bit like, you know, Brendan Rodgers. I never want him to end. Do you know what I mean? We're doing. Anyway, right, let's crack on with this week's show, whatever it is that we're doing. Ask the Bus, apparently. Danny O'Malley, I've been bored for ages, so it's nice to see you go live. Alan Robertson's half cut. I like that. Nothing wrong with that. Still brushing the hair with a toffee apple. Uncle Nobby, I am, mate. I am. Rooster, all right, chavs. You calling it chav, Rooster, eh? Evening to you all. Brilliant. The bus is business, but 80s. Get a wee like, get a wee share. I like that. Didn't mind doing this alone sometimes. I like it with other folk as well because you get the debate. Do you know what I mean? But this is how we began, so it's quite nice. It's quite nice doing these wee solo shows, you know. I dug out this top as well. I've not worn this top in ages. Wee Belgian top. Can't think why. Right, let's crack on. There's a lot of people asking me about one person, and that is KT. Stephen O'Rourke's asking, is he coming back? Well, let me tell you this, Stephen. I don't have a clue, because I would love to give you, if you want to know my honest opinion on it, and again, that it doesn't come from a place of any sort of substance, as you can tell with the statement, you know what I mean? But, notwithstanding that, I think, Brendan, when we speak about managers getting assurances, Stephen, right, to come to the club, I think Brendan's assurances, not because he's been a dick, but just because he knew how big, right, how big a jump it was going to be, you know, to try and win the fans over, things like that after the, you know, it was a crazy way when he left before, let's be real here, do you know what I mean? So I think the assurances he would have asked for would be beyond maybe what we all think our Celtics means. And I think we've been conditioned, guys, to think that for whatever reason, Celtic have this glass ceiling and they can't go beyond it ever. Well, they already have, by the way. And I'll tell you how they already have. They have by making Brendan Rodgers, for the second time in his Celtic career, the highest paid manager at the club. So, in the club's history, sorry. That's already pushing this supposed glass ceiling that we cannot go beyond. I think another part of his remit will have been, or his demands will have been, he wants things to happen that will surprise us. I think there'll be two players that he will approach. I don't think he'll be able to afford to buy either. In fact, I think we can safely say he won't be able to afford to buy either. Everyone's talking about the wages, and I see all that. Nobody gets paid 100% of the wages when they go on loan, right? It's just that simple. They just don't. Hey, Monty, that's happening, son. I think the likelihood is going to Newcastle. Yeah, totally get it. If they offer money, Arsenal aren't going to want to do a loan deal. But player Pibbles always there as well. If he says, like, look, this is what I want to do. I want to go back to Celtic, make it happen somehow. Celtic offer £5 million for a year. People might say that's pissing money down the drain. Not if he's integral in getting us through the group stage, for example, of the Champions League. Then you're going, oh, he's made that back. Not that he'd be the only reason, but he would be a big factor if we were to make a dent in Europe, undeniably, because he would be playing the big games. I wouldn't surprise me if Brendan said, I want you to ask the question. It wouldn't surprise me if Calmac was out for his dinner or his lunch in Mallorca, that Kieran Tierney was maybe there round for a sausage supper later on. I don't mean that sounded wrong. A fish supper. Do you know what I mean? Chips and cheese, something like that. It wouldn't surprise me if Brendan, whilst a unattached manager, because remember, he only got the Celtic job a week or so ago. If you've been following the bus the past week, you will know I think differently to that timeline of events. But I wonder if he's maybe said when he was an unattached manager, oh, Kieran, you beautiful human being, what are you up to? What are you up to? You think you would come back? People are worried about his injuries. I get that. But it's the manager's gift to decide who he wants. Would it surprise me if this is someone that has been identified by our Brendan Rodgers, the main man of a player of interest, a person of interest, as Tony Haggett used to always say? It wouldn't surprise me in the slightest. Tell you another one I think you'll, in a similar vein, again, people will kibosh this to say, we can't afford it. Start being a fan again, right? And stop worrying about being in the accounts office. Do you know what I mean? Let's get back to being romantic Celtic fans again. That's what it's meant to be. Supporting a football team is meant to be something fucking joyous that we enjoy and we dream about, not to kibosh everything. Everyone's like, oh, you can't do this, you can't do that. How do you know? What do you know about what Celtic can and can't do? What discussions and assurances Brendan and Dermot have? Why do you think in the positive side? Why do you think that he's maybe been told things, that would blow your wee minds? That would be something that you go, fucking hell, but would be too serious all the time. And I think the other player that he may say he wants to speak to or try to get on loan, I think would be Scott McTominay. I just have a feeling that might be a player that he would represent the criteria that Brendan was referring to when he was talking about getting power in the team. He's not getting a game at United. He's apparently a Celtic fan. I mean, everyone says, I see, to be honest with you, see what everyone's saying, we can't afford anyone. We've said that about Rangers for the last decade. They've brought in loads of players that we went, how are they doing that? We have real cash reserves. If we need to push the boat out, we can, undeniably. So I think we shouldn't be sitting over negative about stuff. I think we should go, this is exciting. I'm going to take a point though that's just came in by Stephen Donohoe. Brilliant to have you on, Stephen. Hope you are good. He says he's not been impressed by the signing so far. I get that, but I think I was saying this last night, and you may not have seen the show, Stephen. Don't worry, I don't expect everyone to watch religiously every single show every night. And basically, when you look at the signings Celtic have made so far, the way I see it is Celtic have signed Home. Celtic are going for the Tilio. I keep forgetting his name. These are project signings, or that may catch Brendan's eye and become part of the first team. But I think Brendan's got a pot for his future of the club. As Celtic will just carry on business as normal in the background and making sure if there's an affordable youth player out there on the continent or further abroad, we're going to go and get them as well, because that safeguards the future. There's nothing wrong with that. I wouldn't be unimpressed. I would say that these are Celtic signings. I think you'll know when it's a Brendan Rodgers signing. That's the way I see it. Alan Robertson McTominay would be dynamite. He fucking would be dynamite. I'm sick of everyone poo-pooing everything. Do you know what I mean? Like, folk just want to wait so they can clip something up these days and go, can you believe he said that? Can I believe a Scotland international wanted to play for Celtic? I can. Can I think two Scottish internationals might want to come and play for Brendan Rodgers and a Champions League Celtic? I can. Do I think both will happen? Maybe not. Would I like them to happen though? Fuck aye. Why not focus on that bit? So everyone's so negative these days, man. It's like, I think we've all turned into, I think what happened in 2012 with that it actually turned us into like fake accountants or something as well. Accountants, do you know what I mean? It's like, I don't want to be an accountant. You know what I mean? I just want to I want Celtic to be the best version that that Celtic can be. So do you not want Celtic to be the best it can be? I mean, in answer to that question, my answer is an absolute yes. Do you know what I mean? I do. So there you go. Here comes Jamie Burns. He comes in. He thinks we should push the boat out for a few free transfers, and he wants McTominay, Tilly, and Home would. And McTominay, Tilly and Home will be development players. I agree with that. A few free transfers on McTominay. You just never know, mate. You just never know. Graham Terrell. Oh, Graham. Is it Tyrrell? It's Tyrrell, isn't it? We've had this conversation before, Graham. I know we've had a good wee banter via email and all that as well. You're a top lad, mate. He's saying, well, with the bus getting bigger and bigger, do you think you'll get an invite to fan media conferences? Well, it's a great question because we approached Celtic last summer. Don't get me wrong, we didn't have much of a name. Although, having said that, they fucking knew who I was because I remember when I was on the wee fella thing, Don Mackay, when he took over, generally sent a text to him, and I seen the text because the wee fella held it up to the screen, and he'd quoted my name in it. There was something about a biscuit tin or something, but he'd put my name in it, saying I'll be watching or something like that. So they knew of who I was a wee bit. Some of them maybe probably didn't like me, but I pitched to them the idea of Regan studying journalism and media. And I thought Regan up there at the pressers, asking Ange the direct questions would be class. So I pitched the idea to them last summer, and the answer was we'll review it soon, but right now there's no allocation, and I ain't heard back from them since. My honest truth is, Graham, it's not my bag, mate. I'm not particularly captivated by fucking asking hiya Callum, good week in training this week, and then describing it on here as when Bhoycie met fucking Celtic, or when Bhoycie sat down with Callum McGregor. I asked him one question, there's about 30 folk in there, he looked at me for about 3.5 seconds. I can't even bother with all that shit, I'll be honest to you. So it's not my thing. I would rather just be an entertainer on here than kidding on that I'm in cahoots with the club. And do you know what? I think one of the things that happened as well, excuse me, was once they let the fan media in, I'm not as convinced. All the podcasts and all that held quite as strong a view on the club. If there was something negative to say, I think we entered the territory where you couldn't say anything negative about Andrew. You were a hater, all this sort of shite. And I don't really fucking get that. I just look at it with a bidgery eyes and I go, right, that's how I see it. If that means it's a negative view, so be it. But I think it compromises you a wee bit if Celtic go, no, come in. So thanks for the question, Graham. I like it. But we won't be asking again, and I ain't bothered either way. Although I'd love to, do you know what I mean? Ask Alistair Johnson if he prefers toffee popcorn or salted popcorn. Do you know what I mean? That'd be a bit of a mission to get through to Glasgow. Do you know what I mean? Just to miss a day of work as well, just to ask that shit. No, I will leave that to the kids, man. They do a good job. So no, but nice one for the question. Right, Joe Brown says, "Why freeze? Bye. I know that, mate, but if there's good players available on a free, nothing wrong with that either. It'll all be about the best possible players available. Mark Jenks comes in, or Yanks. Is it Yanks? Clarify that in the comments, Mark. I almost sleep the night. But Mark Yanks says, think we can get the quality we're after in France. Brendan's shop there before. Can't see us getting any players from the EPL solely because of wages. We'll find out, man. We'll find out. I think it was very, very easy for Brendan to instantly be linked to Leicester City players and things like that. I don't think he's a one-trick pony. I think there's many ways, as I always say, to skin a cat. And I expect us to have players from various leagues, various countries. We'll be looking at, you know what I mean, to try and source talent for this squad. That's what we're after at the end of the day. Do you know what I mean? Can't call only serial killers prefer salty popcorn. Stephen Ray, brilliant to have you back on the bus, mate, and good insight. Done a few things for Celtic TV when I did podcast. You end up watching your Q's and P's, which compromises your honest opinions. That doesn't surprise me, Stephen. That would be a huge fear of mine. My problem is, I wouldn't do that. I've got no filter, so it would last like a week, and then I'd be fucking like out of there. That'd be quite a good story. Huckled out at the press conference by Tom Boyd. That'd be all right, eh? Oh, I'm going to hell. I am going to hell. Sorry, Tom. I met Tom Boyd. He was sound as he called me Bhoycie. I called him Boydie. And then I was like, can I get a selfie? Like, it was like a speaker's night in for John Thompson. At the end, I was like, easy wee selfie, Tommy. Do you know what I mean? Best defender I've ever seen in that. And, like, for some reason, he thought I was like stitchy. He was like, "Oh, is this going to be one of those prank things?" I'm like, "I've been here all night. I'm hardly going to start singing like FTP or something like that, mate." Jeez, so Bob White, hello, Russell. Strange name, strange way to start this, Bob. Don't like that hello at the start. He says he finally found us live though. Welcome aboard, Bob. Welcome aboard. I meant P's and Q's. That is what you said, Stephen, is it not? I don't know. Mark is the man to represent the bus. Straight talking, no push. Can you imagine the judge at a presser? In fact, I would definitely send him. That would be brilliant. Hiya, Alexandro Bernabe. Why are you so pish? What are your lottery numbers? Send the judge. Oh, everyone's wanting the judge to go to the pressers. We need an invite first, and I won't be asking. I won't be asking for it again anyway. Not my style. You ask once. If you don't get it, that's fine. I don't go on a huff at that. It just is what it is. I need a fucking drink here. Right. Polymorphous. He's bringing in some serious questions here. Right. Think John Kennedy has sold some of the bigger names on Brendan and his ability to develop players to help convince them to stay for one more year. Here's how I see that polymorphous. I think it's a brilliant point because, see, the thing is, with Brendan, whatever efforts John Kennedy makes, Brendan will fix it anyway. That's the way I see it. I think he'll go in and he will, once he sits with Jota, for example, he's just like, listen, you beautiful human being. A couple of games. Well, he must be doing that, mate. Singing a wee pendulum thing. He's like Ka for the Jungle Book. Trust in me, just in me. And you know what I mean. It's one of those things. It's like these guys will listen to John Kennedy's views. I don't think it would be enough of a swing for them if they thread their head towards the exit for what John Kennedy says. They'll be like, aye, you just well seen, you got a pay rise, you bastard. But I think Brendan holds a room, polymorphous. I think when he walks in, he's got the back catalogue there to back it up. He has, definitely a degree in psychology. And I think he would do a very good job in convincing some of those who thought they were playing for Ange Postecoglou FC to realise they're playing for Celtic. And I think Brendan will do very well. Love this from Scott Cameron. He's just popped up. Do you think we will break our transfer record? Yes, I do. I do. I think we will. I think not because it's we have to break our transfer record. That was one of the conditions. I just think that with this, it's just inevitable. If we're going to be shopping at a different supermarket, the funds are there, 2 group stage places in a row, turnover rocketing, assets over the park. Inevitably, at least one asset will go for a considerable fee as well. I think it is very likely that the transfer record gets broken. And do you know what? Fucking, if you have to, Don't shit the bed at doing it. Don't wait 19 years between Chris Sutton's 6 million and Odsonne Edouard 9 million. And in that time, you've been told in those 19 years, we're a Champions League club. Celtic's one of the biggest clubs in the world. That's tin pot mentality. So, in my opinion, they'll probably break it just out of default, mate, because we are going to be adding some live ones to this first team. That's the way I see it. Monty likes me tonight. He's bristling. I thought you always liked me, Monty. And there's Hill Times 2. Another legend. Me and him and Monty were out for beers once with Phil and a few others. That was a great night out. How drunk was I that night? Jonathan was there. I like Glasgow. I was about that night. Fucking hell. The Zagreb keeper, it's getting mentioned. I think Stephen Ray mentioned that as well. Hill Times 2 meant to be a cracker. There it is. There, a goalkeeper is high in the list. Fiorentina have just bid. Let's compete with Fiorentina, definitely. What were they? Conference League final. You got beat off West Ham. That's your job. Beat off West Ham. Do me a favour. So, we're in the Champions League. I think we should be able to compete with Fiorentinas of the world. No two ways. Do I think a goalkeeper would be behind the list? Yes. Interested to see where everyone in the group chat or the passenger seats would want to target first in the squad. Personally, I think a left back would be. And I feel shite on Greg Taylor saying that, but it's probably because Burnaby's been that underwhelming that I'm like, we're back to where we were this time last year. It's funnily enough, I've never seen any Spurs links with Burnaby recently. Isn't that right, Ange? Yeah, bastard. That's a joke, by the way. I like Ange. But I think we're back to where we were with the left back situation, albeit I think Taylor surpassed the expectations this year. But I do feel that's still an area we can improve on. Does it change the dynamic of the team? No, probably not. I think the team's still a little bit lightweight. I think we get Kieran Tierney in at left back. Just a joke. Well, maybe it's not. I think we get McTominay in midfield or someone of that ilk. That'll be the plan. Someone of that profile. Don't focus too much on the fact I'm saying McTominay. He comes to mind because he is recency bias, watching him playing for Scotland, things like this. Grant Call, totally agree. A unit CM is a must. And I definitely think as well that, see, when it comes to up front, I think Rodgers would have kept Giakoumakis. It does piss me off that I felt Ange was like, just being like fucking, just a wee bit of a bitch about it all. Oh, he's annoyed he's not getting game time. Oh, I'm such a boss. I just get rid of players for £4 million that are top scorers. Nobody does that. Do you know what I mean? So, that annoys me because I think Giakoumakis would have played a big part in Brendan Rodgers' team. But I expect a striker of a physical. Oh, fuck it, we'll just say Dembele, McTominay, Tierney. That's your 3 signings, lads. Are you happy with that now? Are we all going to move on? It is getting hot in here. I'm roasting. I'm just doing hundreds of talking. But yeah, I think when it comes down to it, I think you'll target a striker because I think you want to have, I was saying this last night, his guy, and that'll be something that you'll be aligned with, if you know what I mean. It'll be very much associated with Brendan's era, that there's a striker of real substance playing up front. And I look forward to that. I think there will be a more dominating midfielder and a left back. And yeah, the goalkeeper situation, I said throughout the season, I felt that would happen. I actually said at the start of last season, I thought Siegrist would have overtook Joe Hart towards the end of the season. And do you know what? This isn't a slant on Joe Hart. Joe Hart seems a really great professional to have around the club. It's just fucking is what it is. I think there could be better than tough shit. He gets paid 20 grand a week to listen to fucking shitey opinions on him by idiots getting 20 pence a minute, or 20 pence a week, I should say. So who cares? Don't feel too sorry for them. But one of the things I'll say is when it comes to Siegrist, the reason he never got that opportunity was, I remember noticing it. There was a photo he did on one of his socials, And it looks like he was on a fucking Ferris wheel or something. I don't know. With his missus. She looked lovely. But he has like a rum in his hand, and I was like, what the fuck's he up to? And then thought like, oh, I hope you get back to full fitness soon. But I was like, I don't think Angie's version of getting back to full fitness will be drinking rum on a Ferris wheel in Paris or wherever the fuck he was. So that never gave him that chance, because I think towards the end, you've seen the rotation in the squad. Scott Bain then got a 3-year deal. I don't think that was part of the plan. I don't think that was part of Angie's plan either, to be fair. And then he ends up getting minutes in the park, and I think Seagrass blew it by doing that trip. Do you know what I mean? But I mean, who doesn't like going out and drinking rum? We all like going out and drinking rum. Does anyone want to go for a rum with me? You're welcome. Welcome to come for a rum or 10 with Bhoycie Boy at some point. Oh, look at this. There's a wee bit of debate going on in the chat. Stephen O'Rourke. Billy Gilmore would be a great addition. Gilmore's mom would lock the boy in his bedroom before letting him join Celtic. Gilmore is good, but better to that one. Gilmore's good, but wouldn't break our transfer record for a Rangers fan. I think that's what he said there, Plunge. Where do we all stand on the old Billy Gilmore one? I think I would have him. I think Billy Gilmore would play well. People get caught up about being Rangers fans and that. Do you know what I mean? Like, I ain't too bothered. About that. I think as long as they're good enough, then sign them. Would he do well in a Celtic jersey? I'm pretty sure he would. I think sometimes as well we over analyze the whole divide. I think professional footballers, it does change. Kenny Dalglish, was he not a Rangers fan growing up? Paul Lambert, Rangers fan growing up, didn't stop them. Do you know what I mean? And I agree, Edward Kerr, wholeheartedly with your view on it. You're selfish. I'll take anyone who improves the team. Do you know what, mate? Me too, pal. Couldn't agree more with you. I think that's, we need to get in the mindset at times, guys, that it's, what is it they say? It's business, And as long as we're providing the best possible team on the park, then there's loads to be happy about. Do you know what I mean? There's loads to be happy about. Stu Tube seen Seagrass at Queen's Park Training Centre. I mean, they're ambitious. They've got they spend quite a bit on the coaching and all that, so maybe Seagrass will be Queen's Park. Bhoycie Bus exclusive there for Stu Tube. I love it, mate. Bruni wasn't a Celtic fan growing up. Find that story about Bruni. And it was that he had a massive Rangers tattoo in his leg. Stephen Ray, again, I keep going back to you, mate, but I really do enjoy your views. It's been great having you on the bus of late. I did message you to let you know that as well. Buying Gilmore at age 22 for 12 million, it's probably the equivalent of buying Scott Brown, Rangers fan, at 21 for 4.5 million. For 2007, what's that, 16 years ago? We could have him for years. Couldn't agree more, man. I couldn't agree more. I'm like you with that. I'm not here to judge you on what you supported when you were a kid or who your fucking gran fucking supports. Like, who cares? Get them in a Celtic jersey and judge what they do. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Right, get more questions in. Let's change the subject. Ask me anything. It doesn't need to be about Celtic if you're really bored. Obviously more happy to talk about Celtic than whether I'm getting married or anything anytime soon. Do you know what I mean? But notwithstanding that, if you want to ask me anything daft, I'll answer. Here comes Danny O'Malley back in. You think we will keep all our top players whilst adding? I genuinely believe Rodgers will do what he can to keep our top players. Well, my man, he absolutely will, without a doubt, do all he can to keep all his players. What I would expect is, if you could have a parallel universe that runs alongside Rodgers' era, and then say you were able to watch it as a movie or something, say it was Enzo Maresca who got the job, O'Malley. right? And it wasn't Brendan. And you can watch both movies, both timelines going along. I think the ratio of retention Rodgers will have of that starting lineup will absolutely trounce what an Enzo Maresca would be able to retain. I think you would be entering in a rebuild mode almost again. Connor, go-to order for the Chinese. Do you know what, man? I like a kung po. But I'm like a funny one, because I look like I'd be a fucking idiot with food and all that, but I'm actually I'm a wee bit pretentious with the old scran sometimes, to be honest. So it would have to be king prawn kung po for the Chinese. Shite answering. Give us a portion of chips as well, just to make me back to the fucking being myself, man. The slabbering cabbage is definitely slabbering. What part of your body would you rather lose, an arm or a leg? Well, if you'd seen me at the Sevens tonight, mate, you would know I can't afford to lose any of my 3 legs. That was a joke. I can't afford, obviously, to lose one of my legs. Yeah, I'd lose an arm. I'm not like a fucking DIY person anyway, do you know what I mean? Can answer the phone with one arm. I'd rather lose an arm. I need my 2 legs. I'd freak them out down the 7-a-sides when I'm just running about with one arm. Do you know what I mean? They'd be like, what the fuck is going on? This is getting silly now. All aboard the Kung Po bus. This place is mad. I love the bus sometimes, you know that? It's just great. They're the only folk the only channel that would have this nonsense going on. I love it. Would you rather fight a chicken to death every day when you get in the car or the bus? Thank you, Queenie. Or fight one monkey with a sword, but you don't know when? I'll fight the chicken every day, mate, because I'll master it after a while. I ain't fighting no monkey with a sword, do you know what I mean? It's sharp. And monkeys are like kind of like humans as well, do you know what I mean? It's like, nah, because a monkey would have me sussed, similar sized brains. Do you know what I mean? So like, we can't be doing that. So no, I think it would definitely need to be the chicken every day, master your art, get in the bus, cause no fuss. But thanks for that question. Bhoycie, says Daryl, what's up with banning the BBC? I think Rodgers version 2 is having none of their push this time. Yes, there is that. I also think there is a build-up of a narrative going on that Celtic have now become acutely aware of. And this says, we have just employed a manager who has finished 5th in the last 4 years in the EPL, 8th the other year, won an FA Cup, won a Community Shield, has beaten in that time Jurgen Klopp, Pep Guardiola. I don't know the rest of them. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, does that count? Is that good? Fucking, who else? Alan Pardew. But like, look at the what he's done since. And in the last time he was here, he won 7 out of 7 trophies. He comes back to fucking more critique than what QPR's caretaker, or whatever he was, like 3-month manager Mickey Beale was. Mickey Beale got more fanfare than Steven Gerrard off these pricks. So I just think Celtic, wait there now. We've watched the loving go on and on and on. A guy who loses a treble, he was in charge of 23 out of 38 league games last year, yet was absolved of any blame of the league. He was in charge of 3 of the 4 derbies in that league, by the way. 3 of the 4 made no impact in the league. He had the whole of the Scottish Cup he was in charge of. Didn't get the job done. Went out earlier on. Then you've got fucking the League Cup. He gets beat off us as well. He gets the free pass, the praise. He gets told that free transfers are the way forward. We bring in a bona fide ex-PFL great already in Brendan Rodgers, an EPL top manager with the stats, the trophies to back it up. And you've got Tom English's opening article calling him the shameless one and all this sort of nonsense. The PLZ got banned as well. I just think these pricks, so what? I don't want to be like overly like Pravda. But I think this is a build-up, Darryl, of a lot of frustration from Celtic, and then when they do something that undeniably is a complete positive, for these idiots to try and spin it in more of a negative way than what getting a guy who just lost his last 5 games at QPR in his first ever managerial job in the English Championship. He was spun more positively than Brendan Rodgers. You have to eventually go, do you know what? Enough's enough. We'll see you later, mate. Do you know what I mean? And I think from that point of view, that's, do you know what I mean? It's just madness. Absolute madness. How long have I been talking for? 36 minutes. Right. Let's see what else we've got. Keep fan media, ban fanny media. Nothing wrong with that, Punch. Good play on words. Good play on words. I like that. Corvo back in the Newcastle, the Geordie fan. How are you feeling about the new season, Corvo? You must be excited, mate. You must be excited. Is it a coincidence Celtic have launched a snake kit upon the return of Brendan? Though, well, let's talk about a coincidence. Folk like the conspiracy theory I did the other night. I've got one to Phil. He did mention it, and I don't know how much people picked up on what Phil was saying. But do you remember the old "we're all in"? Well, there's a coincidence with that. I'm going to find Phil's message. He sent me the other day. And I don't think folk picked up on it as much. He probably didn't shout. He probably didn't, shout about it as much as I did. He's, it was a remarkable coincidence. And this is Phil McGinley I'm crediting for this. But the "We Are All In" slogan and the famous Brendan Tifo, of course, said, "Let's go all in." Remember that, the Green Brigade? Remember the "Let's go all in" one? And then suddenly Celtic decide, when the season tickets are coming out, "We're all in." It was an interesting choice of words. The season ticket renewal campaign started after the semi-final with Rangers. That's the same semi-final Brendan was in attendance at. Brendan agreed at that semi-final. "I'm coming back. We're all in." I like that banner. Right, we'll use that as a slogan. It's interesting because it's the polar opposite of what Ange did, of course. But yeah, we will find out. Stevie Kenny, Belgium or pish, mate? Oh, fuck, Stevie. That was me. I was going to get a season ticket for Belgium too. I just like the top, mate. I wouldn't worry about it. I could name you about 4 Belgian players. Shall we do the elephant in the room before I sign off for the night? It's been brilliant fun the night, by the way. I've enjoyed it. The new home kit. All I want is a yes or a no in the comments. Go now! Whilst you do that, am I dead? No, I don't. I don't take part. This is my George Michael moment. I've left Wham, mate. Wham some. No, mate. Fell out with the wee fella. He was threatening to give me a paper cut, so I had to move on to pastors new, mate. Do you know what I mean? Just through pure intimidation. So I thought I'd start myself. In fact, look, Stella, and a big shout out to regular viewer Johnny Boy. I don't know if he'll be watching. He might be away working again. It was he who sent me 36 cans. So you viewers take note. Drop me an email if you want my address. 36 cans of Stella is welcome at my door anytime. Just so you know. Right, let's see. Is it getting a yes or is it getting a no? Thomas Burns first in. That's one to the nose. Niall Doran says yes. 1-1. Connor says no. Mark Lee says yes. Scott says yes. That's 3-2. Gary Brown makes it 3-all. 4-3. Stephen O'Rourke. Danny O'Malley sits on the fence. You get a shit, alright, okay. It's going to be a landslide now. The no's are flying in. I can't imagine you would wear it, Bob White, anyway, to be fair. Joining late, brother, going back to the beginning. balls to the walls. You've not missed much, mate. It's just me talking about drinking rum, getting married, shit like that. Chinese. You've not missed much. It's a yes for polymorphous. Okay, after we fell on. Can you imagine? I need to fucking send like 50 letters out to his legal team first. Do you know what I mean? Water under a bridge. Nah. No water under a bridge, mate. No water under a bridge for me. Monty likes it. Joe Boyle likes it. Pat Laugh likes it. Do you know what? There's a few of you like it. I'm going to tell you what I think. I love it. I think Celtic have completely moved into the modern world. This is what the kids want. We always talk about we need to move with the times. Then we get steeped. In the tradition a wee bit too much. They even use stained glass for the jazzy stripes. I think I agree with Hill Times 2 there. Future classic. I think do you know what? Just wait till fucking Jota wears it. Do you know what I mean? I might even buy it. No, that'll wreck it. But Jota's definitely, once he's in it, let's have it. Do you know what I mean? Anne-Marie says no. A lot of people say no. Actually, there was a lot more yeses in the chat. I think once you see it on, then it'll look great. Anyway, I've loved the bus tonight. It's been brilliant. There's been like 200 years live. Please do hit that like button. Give us a wee share. Slag my hair. If you want to hit subscribe or become a Bhoycie Bus member, all that good stuff, please do so. I'm waiting to finish my Canistella in my Belgium top. And, fuck it, man. See you later.